This is Crazybear, and I have been inspired by Weem to start a Let's Play series of my own for Dwarf Fortress, mainly because I have not yet been able to get him to do a Weemcast on Dwarf Fortress, and I want to show him a really cool game that I really enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. And let's go ahead and get started. What I did before this cast was I downloaded the Lazy Noob Pack for Dwarf Fortress, and it's just a quick way to get started. And what it allows you to do also is to install a graphics pack tile set for Dwarf Fortress. Normally it has just ASCII characters for the graphics, but I have installed a custom tile set so that you guys will see some graphics. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new world, and this is going to just procedurally generate a brand new world for us to play in. These are the default settings: world size, medium, history, all of that. I'm going to leave these the same for now. I'm not going to mess with any of them, so I'm going to press Y for go. And this is going to immediately start creating the world, and it looks like I got the universes of myth, so that's awesome. Also, one thing you'll notice is I won't be using a mouse very much because this game mainly uses the keyboard to do input, so I'll be talking about that as well. As you can see, it's creating civilizations and everything, and if you look right over here in the Age of Myth, you can see the year that it's going through and how much history and everything, and I normally like to stop mine right around year 50 or so, so I'm going to go ahead and press escape to have it stop creating civilizations and everything. And it asks me, do I want to use the world as it exists, and or continue creating the history and more civilizations, because as it goes on there's more civilizations that are being built, more creatures, so you might have a world that has several human towns and dwarf towns and things like that. But I'm going to use it as it exists, and then it's going to go through and clean up everything. And then down here it says, hey, this universes of myth, and this is the dwarven name, of course. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but it's been created, so I'm going to hit enter to accept. And it's now loading all the data that it created into the file so that we can play it later. So as soon as it finishes downloading and saving that file, we're going to start a game of Dwarf Fortress in that world that we just created. Okay, so it should be taking us back to the main menu. Just a second. Alright, so now I'm going to go here and I'm going to click start playing, and it is this one, the Angster region 2, so I'm going to select it and press enter. And Dwarf Fortress actually has 3 different play modes. The first one is Dwarf Fortress, which is your fortress simulation, survival simulation type game. Adventure, which is really like an RPG. It's kind of difficult, we can talk about it later. And then Legends, which it allows you to go into the world and read the history that it created from your world file, which is kind of neat, especially after you've created a Dwarf Fortress and played through it, or played as an adventurer. You can sometimes find your dwarves and your adventure in the Legends. So I'm going to select Dwarf Fortress, since that is what we're playing today. And what it does is it takes me to the world screen, and it's asking me basically to select a location. You can see as I move my cursor here, here's the X is where we're at. This is the region, and then this is the entire world. So you're seeing a local view, region view, world view. So as I move this, it moves to different places, and you can see data about the different locations up here, including if it has coils or coil. If it has clay or soil, metal that they can find on the surface, everything, aquifer. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose F, which is find desired location. So I'm going to press F, and it asks me, top right hand corner, to put in a few different things to search for. And so I'm going to set up my search parameter. First thing I'm going to do is aquifer. I'm going to press the right arrow key to select no, because we don't want an aquifer. Aquifer means, of course, there is water below the level of the land, and it is hard to dig through. So for beginning, we're going to want to go without an aquifer. River, we can leave that the same. Shallow metal, I'm going to click over, and I can click over again to get yes, but I can click over again to get multiple. As much as possible, we want multiple metals. Same with deep metal, so that's deeper in the crust. And then we're going to leave soil and clay the same. Really, those are the three main things that I want to look for this moment in time when I'm searching for land. So now that I've done that, I'm going to hit enter to start my search. And what this does is, you can see up here, it's starting searching the world, and all the red X's are locations that it marked off that says do not meet my search criteria. And depending on how fast of a computer you have and things like that, yeah, this can go much faster or much slower depending on your hardware. But okay, good. So we have at least a couple of green X's in locations that it has found that said, hey, these meet your criteria, so I'm thankful for that. When we get into more, if I end up doing a lot of these series, I'll end up making dwarf fortresses in several different places. Alright, so it's finished searching, and I'm going to hit escape because I want to browse the different results that it's found. So I'm going to hit escape, and you can see that right here in my region, in my world, it's showing me an area that it found was good. And so it has temperature, it has trees, whether trees are scarce, other vegetation, we don't really care about those, we're dwarves after all. And then if it has soil and deep metals or shallow metals. Notice that it has metals with an S, which that's a good thing for us, so there's multiple. So I generally like digging around a mountain since we are dwarves. The only problem with that is you don't get any trees or anything, but you do get a lot of mountain and metals and soil. Since we are starting off and I'm kind of explaining this to you, I'm probably going to choose one of these areas, and I'm gonna, so I've chosen this area, so it meets this, but I'm gonna move over here, and I'm gonna use UMKH to move my local area, because I actually want to get to where I have a little bit of a water source if I can, which is, yeah, okay, right there. So notice when I move it around that the metals and the different stuff change. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So I'm in the mountain. I've got some soil. I've got shallow metals. I've got deep metals. I've got my river for water. And I also am going to have some trees and vegetation. So that's perfect. So I'm going to go down here and press E to embark, and that just means it's time to go to this location. It says, are you sure you want to embark here? Yes, I do. Alright, so there's several different options that you can use. Man, they've added quite a bit actually since the last time I played. Play now and prepare for the journey carefully are the basic dwarf fortress options, but if you downloaded the Lazy Newt pack like I did, to just get started, you have some additional ones. So I'm actually going to choose Simple Start for new players. I don't know what that is. I've not seen this one before, so that's what I'm going to choose. And hit enter. Oh no, it says my embark preparations were not completed. That is not what I wanted. Okay, so it shows me the peasants that are going. That's fine. I'm going to leave them alone. I'm going to press tab to look at the items. Okay, it starts me with 3 pickaxes, some plum helmets, which are used for, those are seeds, by the way, to use for farming. Plum helmets are the actual produce that we use to eat. Some training axes, some wine and rum, which in Dwarf Fortress are important. Your dwarves will die without alcohol, so it's good to have. And some logs, okay? And if I go over here, I notice that I do start with some dogs, which dogs are good for, you can train them to hunt and to guard areas. Cats, they're often used for like warning. Cats will prowl around and they'll find intruders and stuff. And, oh good, hens. So they added hens for eggs, but I usually like to use turkeys so that I can get eggs. And sorry, this is all just probably a little bit more than you need to know to just get started. But I'm going to, and you're probably getting bored, so I'm going to hurry up. So I'm going to hit the plus sign to get some turkey hens. And if you notice, I'm using my points down here, so I'm just going to add some hens, and I'm going to add some gobblers, and that is it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and add some of these hens. Okay, I'm good. Alright, used up all my points, and I am going to press E to embark. We're about to just get started. Okay, and this is my intro. Everybody, you can read this on your own, but this is start at the end again. What I'm really interested in is history begins here, the very last line. History begins here at this place, Elist Ficold, or also known as Kinglaze. Kinglaze is probably what that is. Strike the earth. Okay. Hit enter. And I'm about to catch the first sight of my embark location. And that's not good. My Dwarf Fortress stopped responding. Okay. So here we are. I'm going to hit space. You can see up here it's paused. And so this is where I'm starting. And I am going to hit tab to change my view a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to mouse around. So this is my map over here that I can see. And wow, alright. So I've got some different stuff going on. I've got some mountain here. That's good. I don't see the river, and that all looks like snow. So it looks like it's cold right now. Let me... you can press K to... yeah, so you see I can press K, and at my cursor it will tell me over here where my cursor is at. So you can see it's snow-covered black sand. So obviously everything is frozen right now and cold. So that's okay. That's fine. So we don't have the water source right away that I was hoping for until it melts. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and stop here. So we're about at 15 minutes. And then next time I'm going to start up and I'm going to actually start building. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy, like or subscribe, and then watch for my next session as I actually start digging and mining and building my next Dwarf Fortress.